In this video, I'm going to have a look at troubleshooting a problematic Windows 10 update using advanced boot options. Now, there are 4 different channels of Windows 10 corresponding to the Windows 10 update cycle. If you're using an insider preview, these builds are, as the name suggests, insider preview builds and haven't undergone complete testing. So these builds are more likely to have a problem. So there is first of all the active development channel, and this consists of a new Windows 10 build approximately every 2 weeks. And the new Windows 10 build contains a variety of new features, and as a result Microsoft called this a feature update. Now, a feature update is an update that typically requires multiple restarts and takes a good while longer to install than a regular update. So following the active development channel is the beta channel. So only the most popular features or the most stable features get passed from the active development channel to the beta channel. So there will be less feature updates in the beta channel, but there will be a number of quality updates, which essentially consist of cumulative updates, patches including fixes and security updates for the new features. So after the beta channel, the features that are going to make it into the mainstream release get passed on to the release preview channel. So the release preview channel is typically a month or 2 months ahead of the mainstream channel, and essentially the mainstream builds of Windows 10 get updated twice a year. So it's every 6 months there's a feature update on the mainstream channel, opposed to every 2 weeks with the active development channel. So if we're going to uninstall an update and we're running the active development channel, it's most likely going to be a feature update we need to uninstall. And for the mainstream channel, the most problematic update, as mentioned, is more likely to be a feature update. However, quality updates occur a lot more often than the feature update. Okay, so in this example, I'm using the active development channel, and as you see, my desktop is watermarked stating the build. So it's build 20,180, and if I right click the start button and go to settings and then update and security, I can have a look at the Windows update history, and here we can see the last feature update installed and the last quality update. Also, we can have a look at driver updates and definition updates, because sometimes these can actually be causing the issue as well. So if you have a major issue but you can still boot into Windows 10, you're going to want to access the advanced boot options. And in order to do so, what you're going to need to do is go to the start button and right click it and then select shut down or sign out, and then hold down shift and left click restart. Keep holding down shift and you should see please wait, and then you should see the Dell logo with please wait. And then once you're on this screen, let go of shift and select troubleshoot, and then advanced options. So you can also have a Windows 10 update that basically gives you a problematic boot. So if your install cannot boot 3 times, then you should get a very similar menu displaying. So if I just power up this desktop and rip out the power cord, and then power it up and rip out the power cord, and then power it up and rip out the power cord, then it's failed to boot 3 times. And it should load into the advanced boot options automatically. So you see performing automatic repair, diagnosing your PC, and then you can select advanced options. So this will give you a very similar menu to before, and you can select troubleshoot. And then advanced options. Now we can also access the advanced options from Windows 10 installation media. So power up your Dell and press F12, select your bootable USB, select your language and then select next, and then select repair your computer, and then select troubleshoot, and this essentially takes you into the advanced boot options. So if you have a boot issue, the first thing you want to try is using the startup repair. Now in my case, as BitLocker is enabled, when I select startup repair, I'm asked for my BitLocker recovery key. So I'll need to go to another computer and access my Microsoft account, or use a mobile phone in order to get into my Microsoft account to get to the BitLocker recovery key. So once you sign into your account, you may be prompted for some additional security information. And once you've done this, you should be given your BitLocker recovery key. So as you see, here is my BitLocker recovery key, and I need to input it into the startup repair screen in order to proceed. So once you've input your BitLocker recovery key, select continue, and then log into your Microsoft account. So now it'll proceed with diagnosing your PC, and then it will check the disk for errors, and then it will attempt to carry out the startup repair. Now in my case, the startup repair never found any issues, and this is because I basically pulled the power cable out and there's not actually an issue with my system. However, if you've got a boot issue, you're going to want to run your OEM's UEFI preboot diagnostics. So in the case of a Dell, power up and press F12 to get to the boot menu and then select diagnostics. For a Lenovo, power up and press F10 and you should get a similar type of diagnostic screen. For other OEMs, you may need to use a different key combination in order to get the UEFI preboot diagnostics. So normally there are two phases of diagnostics. There are the quick tests and then the extended tests, and you should run both just to make sure your hardware is okay. So if your hardware has failed, then you're going to need to address the hardware issue. There's no point looking to software, because if the hardware's failed, software is not going to be able to fix it. So common repairable things are normally if a drive fails, such as a solid state drive or a hard drive or a memory module. A lot of the other things are not repairable because everything's soldered onto the motherboard. So in my case, the diagnostics are fine, so I can go ahead and look at a software solution. So what I'm going to do is roll back a feature update. So in the advanced boot options menu, I'm going to select troubleshoot, and then advanced options, and then uninstall updates. And I'm going to uninstall the latest feature update, and then select uninstall feature update. So your computer will restart and it will take a while to uninstall the feature update. and once it does, you'll be taken to the login screen. So to the bottom right, you see that I'm now on build 20175, which was the previous build before 2180. Now the next problem, if you've got an update which caused particularly a boot issue, is that Windows Update will likely automatically reinstall the update that you just rolled back from, so you'll get the same problem in the future more than likely. So if I just go to Settings, Update and Security and check for updates, it's going to install the update that I just rolled back from. Now within Windows Update, there's the ability to pause updates for 7 days. This used to be 35 days, which was a lot more useful. And as I mentioned on the active development channel, that there's a new build essentially every 2 weeks, so a pause period of 7 days is 7 days short of 2 weeks. So in order to skip this update, you're going to want to download the Show or Hide Updates Troubleshooter package. And if you launch it, it will detect the updates that Windows is trying to install, and you should be able to uncheck it. Now in this case, I don't actually see the update, so this Troubleshooter doesn't work as well as I'd like it to, and in any case it should be incorporated into the advanced options of Windows Update, I would say. So if I unpause updates, it's going to try and download that update. Now if I run the Show or Hide Updates Troubleshooter package, we can see if the update displays this time, and it does. So let's select this update, and we're going to go ahead and hide it so we can see the details. And we're going to have to cancel the updates because it's still installing the update even though I told it not to. And now check for updates again. So we'll see that it no longer displays this update. And because I'm on the active development channel, there's likely to be a new feature update in 2 weeks, which will completely supersede the update that I've just hidden. So if the update that you've just hidden has been problematic on your PC, hopefully the new update in 2 weeks resolves the issue, and you can go ahead and just update to that, skipping the problematic update. Now if you've disabled BitLocker in order to get into the advanced boot options, you'll get a notification saying that it's disabled. So you can just go ahead and re-enable it. Now if you're still experiencing a problem, this may be because you've got third-party software that's causing the issue, or because you've updated multiple times from older builds of Windows 10 to the latest build of Windows 10. So you can reset this PC, which essentially gives you a fresh set of the latest Windows 10 installation files. So when you reset, you'll have the option to keep your files or to remove your files as well. In this case, I'll keep my files, and I'm asked for another BitLocker recovery key, so I'll go ahead and input this. And then select continue. In the next screen, I'm given the option to use a cloud download or to perform a local reinstall. So a local reinstall uses installation files already present on your PC. So basically when Windows Update downloaded and installed Windows 10 version build 2180 in my case, the installation files for build 2180 are left on the C drive, and reset this PC essentially looks to these installation files and uses them to reinstall Windows. Now there is an option for a cloud download. However, in my case, I get this unable to download please try reset this PC using the local reinstall option instead. So I tried both without an Ethernet plugged in, so I got no prompts to connect to a wireless network, and I tried with an Ethernet cable plugged in and I still got this. So this may be because I'm on the active development channel and perhaps they don't set up a cloud download for each insider build. It may only work with the mainstream builds, or it may only be hardware specific, such as Microsoft Surface's hardware. The download from cloud option is actually relatively new, and this is the only time I've tried it, and as I said, it didn't work in my case. So I'm back on build 2180, and this is a fresh set of installation files, and any additional software installed, such as the Chromium version of Edge which was installed, is now no longer present. And in my case, I didn't have too many files on the PC, but for instance, if I open up the downloads folder, you can see that the download that we downloaded earlier is still present. So user files on the PC are in essence untouched as expected.